If you look at the graph,
Megawatts.
November and December were very cloudy.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
we're making nothing.
Yeah.
And we're clear now off this roof, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
We actually had the guys squeegee the ones at the plant because we had that ice storm. and
Yeah, it just
to it.
stuck. Yep.
Yeah.
So I think there was, I was getting alarmed, there was 6 consecutive days or more without any power generation this month alone.
Yep. And what happens here is the little roof over the door is kind of what prevents the snow from sliding off as good as it should, so.
Interestingly enough, if you look back here, I've got a chart of the past of 3 years, and 2017 was down by 25 megawatts over the previous. 2015, 2016 were almost equal, really, within
Yeah,
very close. So we're down significantly for that.
yeah, my house is the same way. We are down solar gain.
I guess the sun is finally running out of energy.
Back in, I think, June, July too, I don't know if you've seen the monthly there, we did have a firmware issue in the inverters that we had to get upgraded.
Oh.
So Phrase Electric did come out and upgrade that firmware, and things came back to normal, because I noticed there was a couple of months right off the bat last spring that we should have been generating more than we did.
That's good you got that fixed.
So we did get that fixed.
So was the firmware issue was that responsible for not recording some data, do we think? Or is that what I'm hearing? Or?
No, it just, it wasn't powering, the inverters weren't getting powered.
The way they were supposed to.
The way they were
Oh, I
supposed
see.
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, this Fairpoint
Yes.
item on old business, we had, in November, the board had authorized, this is for the modem for the plant,
Yes.
but between the time when we got the cost estimate and now, Fairpoint wanted to make sure we knew that instead of $32.19 a month, it's up to $39, and instead of the total, this total monthly, with the other things added on, it's $153.18 rather than $146, so it's up. So they just wanted you to reinitial this if we
Okay.
still want to go forward.
And we know, Fairpoint is no longer Fairpoint.
Oh no, what is it now?
I don't know if they have a name.
Yikes.
Right. Yes.
That was on the news this morning. Consumer, action, electric, something or other. Yeah. I can tell you.
So it looks like it's up like $8 or something a month?
Right.
For the static IP address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, back
Yeah.
up and,
Sorry.
go ahead, Chris, because I
Oh.
have some unrelated.
Well, I think the important thing is this bill reflects the fact that we saved a huge amount of money by updating and dropping a bunch of the phone lines in the past few months.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
So I just need to, I just initialed
I would
it.
just,
Yeah.
at least in that spot, you've got initials all through the pages there, and you may want to reinitial, just so they don't send it back to us.
Consolidated Communications.
Oh, thank you.
And they are going to be officially changing the name, logo, everything having to do with Fairpoint. So this will
Okay.
no
Changing
longer,
their brand identity?
yes, this will no longer be Fairpoint. The company's out of Illinois, just FYI.
Okay.
Did you know that the university purchased the church on 172 Main Street?
No,
The
down here?
the Episcopal Church,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it was just in the paper this
Okay.
past week.
At
Yeah.
least this doesn't come off the tax rolls.
Right.
It's already off.
I know.
Is that all they want, is just initials here? Do they want him to reinitial everything?
No, I think that's
All right.
pretty much it next to the red.
Do we
Yeah.
need to make a motion that he should initial this?
Well, you've already approved it, this is just a price change, so sure, I mean, it won't hurt if you want to move to
Okay, I
adopt
make a
the
motion that
updated-
we accept the new Fairpoint or Consolidated Communications Agreement with a slight price increase of $7 a month.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right,
That way
So-
it comes back with Consolidated Communications letterhead.
I know, that's right.
So, assuming there's no other old business,
Yeah,
then we can move on to purchase recs.
yes.
And we have a long list of a dozen this week.
Yep.
I guess I'm curious why, actually, first off, why are heart crosses all individual like
Well, that was my question, Mr. Chairman. And what was explained to me by our finance person is some are for water, some are for sewer.
Ah, okay.
And some,
Well,
they come in at
that-
different times.
Yeah.
I mean, I was vying for one purchase order with all the whole list. And I think it's easier for Fred to get the cost estimates and get it set up. And then it's easier for Sid to just account for different POs, even though
Different chemicals
I
that
would
have-
prefer to have them in one, but
I don't know. I think for the sake of transparency and auditing in the future, I think it might be more clearer this. Or
Yeah,
clearer
it's,
this
I
way, yeah.
caved in,
Yeah.
I didn't insist.
Yeah, no, it's,
Trying to track invoices and so on.
Right.
It's easier for them to do it this way,
Yeah.
so,
okay, fair enough,
you
just,
know, it would cut our purchase orders down by half this meeting, but.
right, right. All right,
These
so
are
that,
blanket purchase orders too for most
For
of
the
them.
whole
Yes.
year.
right. Okay, so purchase order 1 is 7,000 even to Irving Oil for vehicle fuel. Number 2, 23,680 even to Hartcross for caustic soda. Number 3, 7,064 even to Hartcross for the Aquacross HC 2050. Number 4, $3,088 even to process distributors for the calcium hypochlorite
Yeah.
briquettes. Number 5, 11,856 even to Hartcross for quicklime. Number 6, 9,900 even to E2 for their annual electrical calibration and maintenance. Number 7, 500 even to the state of New Hampshire for a sludge quality certification. Number 8, 3,195 even to Hartcross for hydrated lime. Number 9, 10,698 even to Hartcross for sodium hypochlorite. 10, 2,150 to Hartcross for sodium metabisulfite. Number 11, 552 even to New Hampshire Municipal Association for their annual membership, or our annual membership. And then lastly, number 12, 2,722 even to Eastern Analytical for water testing.
I make a motion, we accept the purchase recs as read.
So moved.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Let the signing commence.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got them? Did I give them to you? Oh, here they are,
Yeah,
under here.
okay,
I'll take this back, that's the
All
sewer
right.
report.
And that's the septage info.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And let's split these up for processing.
What's Dan's folder?
Better as far as I know.
Ooh, that's a big one.
How much snow are we getting?
Supposed to get 4 by the time it's done.
4 overnight?
No, altogether until,
Seven?
Dry snow.
Oh, dry, good, we like dry snow.
No wind.
Wind it down sometime tomorrow morning, I think.
No, it's supposed to begin tomorrow morning.
Yeah, well,
It'd be beginning tonight, late tonight, by the morning, we'll have about an inch on the ground, and it'd be going
it's
all
supposed to
all
continue?
afternoon, yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah, total 4 by the time it's over tomorrow. That's what I heard.
I think more like 6, but whatever.
Dry snow's
I
fun.
think it depends on who you talk to.
Our back parking lot
Sorry.
flooded at the ice rink
Oh, it did?
and then froze solid.
Oh, I wondered if, I knew there was some localized flooding on the river, but I didn't know if
Yeah,
it came
the
up.
road was closed off for
Yeah, the gas
Sunday,
stations
yeah.
were already, were flooded.
But they didn't close.
Did you even date your signature?
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I missed that one.
that one's good to you.
Thank you for catching that.
This one.
After a while, my
signature-
hand
the
doesn't know what to
signature?
sign anymore.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
And I dated this one but didn't sign it. There we go.
Okay, that one's done.
I'm gonna check all
All
of those.
finished? Great.
Quick glance at
Thank
those.
you.
and You're good. Are we
So-
waiting until
well,
6 for the public
think we
hearing?
have-
Rules
to.
say you can start ahead of time, you just have to be still having the hearing at 6.
I see.
Okay.
And if you want, I can just run down through the paper that's in front of you and that I prepared for the attendees. And that'll sort of set the stage, if you want me to.
Mm-hmm.
The first hearing would be the budget hearing, and in your pack, you've got a water budget and a sewer budget. And I did the over and under for Mr. Sampson.
Thank you, and you printed in color.
Yeah, it's not entirely relevant because our projects change. You know, for the things that are really different, they're really a whole different project. It's not
Right.
like, you know, something like uniforms, you can look at an over and under and say, okay, it's relative, and you say, well, yes, we got a new guy or whatever. But anyway, there's a water budget and a sewer budget that you are very familiar with because we've gone through it, and you can go through it again if you want to at 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then, another sheet in here is the rates that we're proposing, that
Yes.
you would adopt tonight if that's your pleasure. And on the back side of that is historic rates.
Yes, right.
So we put that together.
Mm-hmm.
And
Excellent.
then, probably, I don't know, the most important, but the most formal piece of tonight is to have bond issue hearings as they were posted on the 5 bond issues that we're gonna have at the annual meeting. And so what I've got here is a explanation, just a brief explanation of each one. We can go through that.
Mm-hmm.
And just related material, we have maps that go with the, if it's a water and sewer line, we've got the map.
Yes.
If it's the septic receiving unit, we don't have a map that corresponds, so we don't need one. But I've got a copy of the capital improvements program, the capital reserve accounts, and the debt service, just because it's related material to borrowing. And it's good information for everybody to have in their hand when they're making these decisions. So that's the package of paper, and that's sort of the lineup of things that, you know, we should present to the public tonight.
Mhm.
And then the board would take action on each one of them. And then we can proceed to prepare for town meeting.
Excellent.
Annual district meeting, I mean. So you can actually start, as long as you're still having these hearings, they're all posted at
Yeah, I can't
6.
imagine we won't go beyond
Yeah,
6 o'clock. So I guess I can say here at about 7 minutes till the hour,
yeah.
we're opening the public hearing for Plymouth Village Water and Sewer District.
On the budget first, I would say.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. All right, on the budget first, okay.
And you know what I did forget to mention, on the back side of the explanation for the bond
Yes, as your very nice,
issues is the, you know, I put,
the goals and
Goals and
highlights.
highlights of
Yes,
the
that's
budget.
excellent, yes.
and I don't know if that's something that you want me or Jason to just,
The TLDR here of
For TLDR?
Too long, don't read.
This
know.
isn't too long.
If you
don't
can't
we?
read it on
We need
this,
to
don't
read
send
it.
it to me, right?
That's right.
But I'm happy to either go through these quickly or, Jason can chime in and we can tag team and go through if,
No, I'd say let's,
go
We
down
need to
through.
read it.
yes,
Okay.
please, yes.
So the highlights for the water budget would be to continue to develop the water source in Holderness, which will be the subject of a bond issue.
Yes.
Something that we've been picking away at over the last few years, and we do this through a grant from the state, is our asset management program,
Yes.
getting our infrastructure mapped and on GIS, and to have asset management software. Do you want to pack?
I'm lost here.
To go, no, nothing, I don't need to.
No, I was just gonna move the microphone
Okay.
over to you.
Yeah, I was just gonna offer you paper information. All right.
Hold on, I'm
Yeah,
lost.
okay, so.
Where are we?
Yeah, this is on the back side of
this.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
That's-
just flip that right over
Yeah.
there. It's right,
Got it.
hiding in plain sight.
So the third highlight for water would be our water meter replacement program.
Excellent.
The design and engineering for Main Street phases 2 and 3, which would be from the Campton line to Highland Street on Main Street or Route 3.
Mm-hmm.
New water lines on Bailey Ave and Langdon Park Road, up in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then to replace the generator, either to put an additional or to replace the generator at Foster Street Wells. And I don't know if you have a question about the age or the,
Well, we had discussed that briefly
Yeah.
earlier, I know.
and that's a bond issue, so we can actually go
Yeah, I think we should, yeah,
through that,
yeah.
through the, why,
Yeah,
the
well,
why.
after.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, this.
So, budget goals and highlights under wastewater would be the engineering and design for the sewer line on Main Street, and this would be from Toby Road to High Street and Green Street, because the sewer line jogs.
Right.
The septic receiving unit improvement continuing project, this would be, we're in phase 1 now, it would be phase 1A and 3. Pump station 1, which is across the street from here, improvements, and that would be getting ready for the force main 4 realignment, which is a cross-country force main sewer line. I sound like I know what I'm talking about now. I used to say, what does force main mean? In conjunction with the new water lines on Bailey Ave and Langdon Park Road, new sewer lines on Bailey Ave and Langdon Park Road. And that one of those goes behind homes, not in the street. That's a cross-country.
Between Bailey Ave
Yeah.
and Langdon Park Road.
Yeah, it's on the
I
map.
saw that.
There's
Yeah.
a cross-country section, yeah.
Engineering and design for Main Street, phases 2 and 3, which would be the Campton line to Highland Street for sewer. Engineering and design for the force main, phase 3. And then asset management software, GIS, and mapping for the sewer infrastructure.
Right.
So those are all reflected, those are all the big projects that are reflected in the budget.
Very good.
And just so people know, we worked on the budget in the fall, and the boards already deliberated and considered the budget, so this hearing is mostly for,
Public
Public,
consumption,
yeah.
yes.
Do we want to read this out loud?
but why don't we have the budget hearing and close it and vote on it, and then we'll do the rates, and then we'll do the bond hearing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's fine
Judy?
with that,
Is it-
acceptable to me.
Okay.
That's fine,
Yes.
but we can't close the budget hearing for.
All right, so leave it open, that good
Right.
idea. So just leave them all open, and you can close them all at the end.
Right.
And, all right. All right, so do you want to keep
Rates.
going on the rates?
Yes.
All right. Thanks for reminding me of that, Judy. Let's see, the 2017 rates, the minimum charge, which means up to 5,000 gallons per quarter, was at $39.57, and the minimum sewer rates were at $62. Over 5,000 gallons, the rate per thousand each quarter would be at $6.60 in 2017 and $11.66 for sewer. Those are proposed to be raised to a minimum of 5,000 gallons for water at $43. in
Slight
2000.
increase there,
Slight increase there.
right,
And for sewer, it would stay the same at $62.
right.
And the over 5,000 gallon charge at 1,000 gallons per would be $8.60, up from $6.60. And the corresponding sewer charge would be up just 11 cents from $11.66 to $11.77. So the increase in water would be $2 or 30%, and the sewer charge would be up 11 cents or
Just
0.94%.
under 1%.
Under
right.
1%.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess it's important to, perhaps to interpret a little bit here for the public that for people who use the minimum 5,000 gallons, there's very little, just a few dollars impact on your bill. For those who use a lot more water, you will see more of an increase, right?
Right.
So,
And these rates are reflective not only of this budget, but our anticipated borrowing over the next number of years to maintain and repair the infrastructure.
right.
Oh, it's Dick, hi.
Hey, Dave.
So,
Should be a pack. Paper on the back table. Did you start to ask a question?
No, I just said hello.
Oh, yeah,
so I think that about covers for,
the rates.
yes.
Dick, if you want to take the piece of paper that says public hearing, and it's got 5 purposes, that's what we're gonna go over next. Just gonna help you. Please provide light.
Oh, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you want to see?
Oh, yeah. Forgot my light.
Yeah, and there are corresponding engineering maps to the right over there.
Okay.
Thank you for coming, by the way.
He's here to harass us. He's here to harass us.
I know, he's here to see if he's smarter than Jason, or if Jason's smarter than he is. I'll let them.
I see you don't have a lot of copies, so I imagine that it might take you one or make sure up to
I think you can take one of everything.
Yeah, take one of everything, Dick.
Pass them around to any of your gatherings.
Any of my neighbors?
And as soon as he's finished, we
All the
can,
corresponding maps to the capital
at
project.
least he came.
Well, we came
Probably
at 6.
answer all my questions. I could probably just take these.
That's
and-
right.
Walked right in
Good
at
point,
6.
that's why you keep it. So we were just about to go over the bond issues, which is
The
this
big
sheet.
money.
Yeah, the big money.
The big
Um,
money.
We've got them lumped in accordance with bond council advice by purpose. So I tried to reduce the number of bond issues, but let them have their own specific purposes in as much as I had to. So the first one is water and sewer line replacement, to include a water line replacement on Main and Warren, and water and sewer line replacement on Main Street, phases 2 and 3, and sewer line replacement from Pump Station 1 along Green Street and extending to the wastewater treatment plant on South Street. And the cumulative dollar figure for those projects would be $8,950,000.
Which is a large number.
Which is a large number.
Very
It
big
makes-
number.
Makes me go. The water and sewer line replacements on Bailey Ave and Langdon Park Road would be $475,000. One road is a little cheaper because either the water or sewer line isn't going in exactly the same spot as the other. So there's a little bit less of one line. The third one is sewer line replacement and realignment of pump station number 4, which is the one out at the other end of, well, it's at Burger King.
Burger King.
Commonly call it. Force main phase 3, connecting then to pump station 1. And the cost for that would be $1,500,000. So that would be one bond issue.
That's because they're all line replacements.
They're all water and sewer line replacements, yep.
I think for the purpose of the public hearing, I'd like to at least address why we're doing this,
Yep.
as we should always public should always get a little sense for the fact that we have aging infrastructure
Right.
and that things wear out, things rust, things are just
Break.
need to be replaced. Or in the case of Bailey Avenue and Langdon Park Road, as I understand, those are undersized in addition to being quite old, so.
Yeah, Langdon Park Road in particular has a 1-inch water line on it that serves, I think it's at least six
Six
residences.
houses.
Yeah.
Right, and they would probably benefit from a little bit larger line, so.
Yep. And then the sewer line replacement is just the continuation of what we started because the sewer line kept breaking from Burger King and sort of behind shop, the Shop and Save Hannaford Plaza. And this is just to continue it so it does connect now directly to Pump Station 1.
Right, to
Right, to continue
alleviate
to-
any head pressure issues
Right.
that we've had in the past by coming
Right.
more of a flatter alignment than
And-
going up the hill to Highland Street.
Right.
Yep.
What's the wisdom of lumping all three of these together? Because, if it doesn't pass, you lose all three projects, where if you had developed them individually.
Part of the wisdom is not to have 12 bond issues.
Understood.
And you know
I'm-
this, that you can amend things in and out, which we could tell people. If we had a discussion at the meeting where people said, I don't want to do this or that, we could offer to have them amended out. So we could still be flexible
Right.
with it.
Okay.
But I was trying really hard to avoid having 12.
Understood.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I could stay friends with Bobby Clay. So, the second purpose, and we've been working on this for a couple of years now, is to establish a new source of water in Holderness and construct a distribution system in what I call the Intervale, coming across Route 175A from that well. And presently, we are considering 2 production wells over in the lower fields on the Holderness School campus. We have leased that property, and we've engaged Emery and Garrett, who are, I would call them the preeminent water geologists in the state, maybe New England. Some of this money is to further the exploration and drilling of the wells and get them permitted. And some of this money would go to actually build the pump station over there, the booster station, and to bring water across to our junction box, is that what you call it? At distribution system at the bridge. And this water would commingle with our current source of water, and if things are fortuitous over there, we might be able to pump almost as much water as we can from the wells on Foster Street. This is, we might be able to pump up to 500,000 gallons
Yeah, about 600 gallons a minute,
a minute.
so about 300 gallons a minute
Yeah.
apiece for each well.
And we've said this before, but I'll just repeat it for everyone. The volume and the quality of that water so far is turning out to be great. So,
Better than what we have on this
better
side.
than what we have, yep. So if we can develop a new water source and have a duplication of this source with good quality water, Environmental Services will be happy because they've told us to develop a new water source, and I think our drinkers of the water will be happier because it'll taste better. So
Right.
that would be a real boon for the district if we can get this project really up and running and get the water flowing.
Right. And this brings, we hope, to a close what has been, how many years have been working on this?
Long
More than
time.
10?
More than 10.
Highway went in, what, 64?
Yeah.
Right.
Jason, do you want to
Can I
talk?
ask questions,
Oh.
or is
Yes,
Okay, I
please,
didn't know if
we're
you guys-
happy to entertain a question.
chit-chatting, or whether it was open for discussion? Then I presume that Emery and Garrett have also looked at, I don't see a plan. Is there a plan for the water distribution system among these figures?
No, there isn't. No, because it hasn't been designed yet.
Okay.
And they wouldn't be the designers. They're the water exploration people. It would be probably our engineers, Ray Pierce. But basically, it would come across in front of the field house to the bridge and join our main distribution system, which is on this side of the river.
Mhm. As opposed to any kind of Oh, is there one? What
Yeah.
figure is that?
Yeah, but that's not the distribution system, is it?
But it shows it going out to 175A.
Yeah.
Would they look at the potential for taking it more directly to our pump house one, under the river?
Yep, we did consider that, but that was also a risk factor that DES wrote up as potential risks there still. If we came across and treated at our current site, the risk would be the same as having our existing wells in that location.
Contamination risk?
Yep.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
So we effectively separate the two sources by allowing the new well will be able to
Pump directly up to the
to our
tanks.
store, yes. And bypass pump station, or well, one.
So where would the commingling happen then?
Right at the traffic circle on the west side of the bridge.
Down here.
The roundabout?
Yep.
Yeah.
roundabout.
Okay. And then it'd be pumped up, commingled to the water tank?
Yep,
Yes.
Up Island.
Okay. So, I mean, it looks like in this, we're approving the actual connection to there. You're saying that hasn't been designed yet. I'm a little confused.
Well, let me back up just a minute, Dick. We've said this earlier at a few other meetings, but it's a good idea to say it now. The reason that we have cobbled together, if you will, such a large package, even though, you know, we still have some of it in design, and this would play out over a number of years. In order for us to capitalize on USDA rural development monies, we could get 25% grant, you know, basically free money, or up to 45% grant if
And
we.
then loan forgiveness, there's
And
loan forgiveness in
the-
this too.
Part of it is state loan forgiveness through DES, but the USDA RD fellows from Montpelier came down and met with us over the last year and said, you know, last year you submitted an application for, I think it was like 2.1 million, and they said, it's not enough, you don't qualify. So we actually didn't use RD money for Foster Street, this project that we did this year. But they said if you cobble together a sufficient dollar size of projects, you'll be better off in vying for the federal money that they can distribute or grant to us. So that's what we did. We worked with our engineers and said, what do we have in the next, you know, foreseeable
5 years,
4 or 5 years that we can put together in a financing package? And then, you know, we wouldn't do all this coming.
So you can't spend all this
No,
money?
no. This would be to
In
get the
this fiscal
authority to
year.
do it, and in getting the authority to do it, then we'll qualify for more money than we would, more grant money, which is that's our aim, is to try to use the district's money to leverage. And the RD folks also said, because they saw that we listened to them and did what they asked us to do, they would use their approval to go to the state. I can't remember the person's name.
John and McKenna,
At the state?
yep, for SRF funding.
To leverage, you know, they're gonna give us grant money, and then maybe we can get some loan forgiveness money, and also there's a, the
The
MBTE
New
trust
Drinking
fund.
Water Trust Fund, we're hoping to
And we might be able to
leverage
tap
that as
into
well.
that, so we're trying to be fiscally responsible and even aggressive in trying to get state and federal monies to offset these costs. That's why we've bundled together so many projects, but we know that we would play them out, and thank you for the
But it
opportunity.
seems like it's gonna be a big hit on the budget in order to get this approved, even though you're not gonna spend it.
Yeah,
We still have to get the authority to raise and
Yeah.
appropriate it,
Yeah.
which is what we're doing.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect our bond rating or whatever.
No.
Okay, so we're safe, because we've paid down other debt and so on.
we've paid down
over
other
time.
debt, and talk about enabling legislation. Water and sewer districts don't have a debt ceiling like a town does in the statutes.
Yeah.
You know, and we just recognize that these repairs are necessary and they're inevitable. So either we try to make a big plan and then work the plan off using the best financing. If we tried to do this a project at a time, we wouldn't get any RD money.
So knowing that we have to do it, might as well
Right.
just say, okay, we're doing it. We're not just gonna be talking about doing it.
Yeah.
We're moving ahead in a big way,
Mm-hmm.
because to not do that means we're gonna end up paying more down in the long run.
Yeah, in the
So,
long run.
and well, not even that long a run, in 10 years. So it's not like we're huge future thinkers here. But we're certainly trying to plan as best we can.
So what would you guesstimate is the time frame to complete the new well development and the distribution out to the roundabout?
2 to 5 years.
Okay.
If things go great, you know, it could be less, at least 2, I would think.
Right, because it's the whole permitting process
Right.
we haven't even begun
Yeah.
with. And they haven't even fully developed,
The second well,
right.
yeah.
Right, so there's still a lot of field work that needs to be done too.
With the potential that things don't go as well as you hope, which delays things and so on. I mean, I
What's the
can think of-
potential?
Well, we've
We
had
don't-
this problem in the past, where
Yeah.
we thought we had a good adjacent well to an existing source, and it turned out to be not as good a well.
That's
Not
not,
predicted it, but it certainly killed that project. And, but the authority exists here
Yeah.
to move ahead. And I guess that's what you're looking for, is the flexibility
yes.
to have the money to do what you need to do.
$10 million and this is what you get?
Hey, welcome to the crowd.
Well, we're sorry you just missed our explanation for that big number.
You'll have to listen to it on
sure.
CBK.
Sure. You can read it from back here, I imagine, right?
So are we on purpose
We're on
5
number
now?
3, the
Three, yes.
generator, and maybe
Yes.
Jason will talk to that.
Yep, so the generator at Foster Street, the existing generator was put in place in 2006, 2007 era. And it is a 200 amp generator. Last year during our electrical and SCADA upgrade, we had the service upgraded to 400 amps to be able to operate both wells at the same time in emergency events. So we are asking for $150,000 to either replace the existing one with a 400 amp generator or put another generator in place at the 200 amp level so that each generator would be able to run one well.
Mhm.
Are these,
So you're just looking
Diesel
for
or-
redundancy there? I mean,
Yep.
I didn't hear you.
so
sorry.
that, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
are these diesel LP or what are they fired?
LP.
LP. Okay, sorry.
What did you?
Well, I was looking for the larger picture I mean, you increase you're looking to build things out here a bit for a reason. Is that because we would only have marginal supply during a power outage, or
It would be mostly during an emergency event if we had to run both wells, say in the event of a fire, we would have that option.
I see, okay. Okay.
Any questions on purpose 3?
Actually, I guess one other question, how does this tie in with our eventual new water supply? I mean, presumably we might have a backup there, so,
Mhm.
I mean, I guess that being several years down the road, we still need to look at the way things are currently, right?
Right. If that were to ever go offline for maintenance, there's only one pipe coming in and out of that distribution
Oh, that's true.
system.
Right.
So we would need this over here on Foster Street either way, for redundancy purposes.
Mhm. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd want Jason to talk about the septic receiving unit too.
Of course, yes.
So purpose 4, the septic receiving unit improvements, phase 1A will include an automated truck scale, a Vector truck grit drying pad, performance tank coatings, an automated entrance gate, and video surveillance equipment, drainage and paving. And then phase 3 would include a grease acceptance unit, which is being driven by potential funding from DES as well at 50% on that project.
On the phase 3 specifically.
And possibly some of the phase 1A as well,
Mhm.
because some of those pieces of equipment would be needed for phase 3.
And the other thing to point out on this one is, as our septic report indicated, we get just under $300,000 a year, or roughly $300,000 a year in revenue from receiving septic. And if we have a new facility, we hope to enhance that number and generate further income.
And also, I think for the benefit of the public, it's worth mentioning that, as I understand, this reduces the wear and tear on our treatment facility as well, correct?
Correct.
So there is a hidden benefit here to.
Yeah, cost avoidance actually,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
equipment doesn't get ruined.
Right, the equipment in Phase 1A will allow us to operate the facility 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which would allow haulers, permitted haulers only, to enter the facility and discharge their loads. And that was one of our biggest comments from haulers.
They work
is that-
later or on weekends
Right.
when we're not there.
So it's potential, some of the haulers say up to two or even 3 loads a day more that they'd be able to bring to the facility. And our Phase 1 work, which we're now working on, will allow that capacity.
Mhm. So there's a revenue benefit there as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
didn't we estimate that this could pay for itself in like
Mhm.
3 to 5 years? So it was a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, especially if we get the 50%
50% grant,
grant from,
right.
is it DES? DES. yeah.
Yep.
Question.
Yes, yes.
As you probably have heard, Ashland is moving forward with an upgrade.
Yeah,
to
it's a
the
good
digging
question,
wall.
yeah.
So that's been factored in terms of revenue offset to Ashland?
Yep. A lot of the haulers that go to Ashland, we don't see them really, and it's really a different clientele that go there. The only one in particular that does go to both Ashland and us is Rowell Septic, and we've discussed some possible, looking at some rate changes in the future. The board had talked about possibly going to a flat rate, because they do have some towns such as Alexandria, which are out of district for us, and any mixed loads would be charged at the higher rate, so they tend to bring them to Ashland instead of us.
How many towns are we currently dealing with?
I believe there's 25 towns.
25 that signed up with Plymouth?
Yep.
Good. I look back at all the money we've invested in the older septic handling equipment. Is any of that still being used?
No, the existing Honey Monster has been decommissioned since 2012. It was tried, they did try to revamp it in 2014 for a 2 to 3 week period, and it had failed in that period prior to my management.
So that was probably a 10-year lifespan or something like that for that equipment?
I think it was destined for failure
Yeah,
because of installation issues.
okay. What have you been doing since 2012?
We've been
Septic receiver.
dumping into just a manual bar rack into a 5,500 gallon holding tank that was installed in 1990 as a temporary septic station. And everything's been overflowing by gravity to the headworks of the treatment plant. And, you know, we've been seeing a lot of grit and
Yeah.
loading in particular into the system. So we do see some fluctuations. The new arrangement, which is currently being built, will take care of the equalization of the flow, as well as be able to treat the material through our solids handling versus our regular wastewater treatment process.
What's the name of this unit, or is this not a package unit?
It's proprietary.
Oh, can't say, eh?
It's everything has been custom designed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's hope this one works longer than the last.
it is much simpler to
Never.
operate, I
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
than the previous one.
Any state aid grant funds left for any of this, or is that?
Yeah, we just said, it could be up to 50%. We'll also,
Not the state
Not the
aid
state
though.
aid grant, though. That was a program, I think, that died.
all right, oh, just a
Right.
different name.
And this was a septic grant that we got those funds from, which came out of the state aid grant, very complicated, but
Right,
these
talk-
funds are from, who's the guy in charge of Greece?
Ray Gordon.
Ray,
Yeah.
okay, so that's the one you're dealing with.
Yep, talking with Ray Gordon in regard to state aid grants. They haven't been revamped, and he was actually the one to go to the wastewater engineering bureau administrator, Tracy Wood, and they were able to provide a letter with up to 50% principal forgiveness on this project, including the grease acceptance unit.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah. That's because they were very impressed with Jason giving a presentation somewhere in the state, and they wrote us a letter afterwards saying, we'd like to help fund this for you.
Good. I'm sure there's a big need up in the North Country.
Yeah. Number 5?
Yeah, I guess that brings us on to number 5, yes.
Sure.
Thanks.
Purpose number 5, Pump Station 1 improvements to convert the existing station to a submersible pump station with added wet well capacity, new valve vault, process piping, canopy structure, new electric and controls, and new emergency generator, $1.5 million.
This is up, this one right up.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
just
So-
across the way.
And that's because of the line replacement from pump station 4 to pump station 1.
The force mains,
The force main,
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Stages
So it's
3
a
and 4.
capacity issue?
It is a capacity issue. Currently, we're just about at capacity at the station anyhow. So it was destined within the near future to have an upgrade. So we are scheduling that to be upgraded prior to bringing phase 3 across from pump station 4. And that was, we did an evaluation of the entire force main all the way down to Green Street, and that's part of the Purpose 1 project, replacing some of the sewer, interceptor sewer down that way.
What if 5 doesn't get approved and you approve the other cross-country one, the sewer line replacement from Station 4?
Again, we'll have the authority to appropriate that funding, but it will be in design. We'll finish the design, have it shovel ready, and then revise whatever we need to bring Pump Station 1 into the desired capacity.
If you folks think back, those are on the board, Judy, we have an agreement with folks relative to capacity of Pump Station 1. This has to do with development, I think, on Fairgrounds Road.
Mm-hmm.
What would that happen to that agreement if you were to double the capacity or whatever? I think you ought to look at that old agreement.
Yeah,
Guess it depends on the language of the agreement and the party involved. If they wanted to come back to us and say, things have changed, we'd like to renegotiate this, I guess that's a possibility, right?
What's the development across from the cemetery that didn't happen?
Ah, yes.
Yep.
On Fairgrounds Road?
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with the agreements you're talking about.
okay, in
so-
other words, we had an issue with capacity here, and the idea was, there's all this build-out potential on Fairgrounds Road. And so in order to let certain projects move ahead, they had to purchase
Space
capacity. They had to
in pump
purchase
station.
reserve capacity.
Yeah, but wasn't that repaid?
What do you mean, wasn't it repaid?
Was that through the meter charge?
No,
No.
this was a flat rate. So, when the development wanted to the developer, let's start, the fairgrounds is the easiest one for me to talk about, just
Yep.
because I know the name of it. So, there was somebody who owned the fairgrounds, wanted to put in a development, purchased space at the pump station so we could upgrade the pump station, and whatever development happens out there, it's based on the number of units of houses that were supposed to go there, et cetera, et cetera. So that was done for every parcel of land that was developable
Oh.
on Fairgrounds Road. People who already were developed,
Right,
like me and Dick
Yeah.
and Chris, we all had to pay a set fee for what we were going to be putting into the pump station. But the idea is if our pump station stayed the same size, there's no way there could have been any development out on Fairgrounds Road.
okay.
So if people wanted to develop on Fairgrounds Road and didn't want to have to put in septic, which the state wouldn't have allowed anyway because they would have been within so many feet of the sewer line, that they had to help pay for the upgrade of that pump
The
station.
inevitable, eventual.
And we did upgrade the pump station with that value
Okay,
for those pieces of property.
What do you mean? You said we did upgrade?
We
the
did upgrade the pump station already.
pump? I see, okay.
We
So it
changed
sounds like-
pumps and
Okay.
everything else. So the people who
within-
paid,
yeah,
that pump station has already been upgraded with those
All right.
payments.
so now there's another.
So
upgrade
now there's this other upgrade
proposed, yeah,
because we have no choice. Because we can't have the line not feed in to the pump station from
upgraded
pump
for
station
other
4.
reasons.
So it's being upgraded for other reasons.
Right. So
well,
that-
let me
Well-
at least find and review the agreement.
Right, I mean, that's-
But if that doesn't play in, then all of the users would pay for the upgrade to the pump station like they do now with most of our maintenance.
Well, because it isn't tied to specific projects.
It's not-
It's
it's
for
not tied-
everybody, so.
And the design of this station in particular, this project, we did account for the undeveloped lots along Fairground Road, the capacity for those as well as Tenny Mountain Highway, since 4 will be coming over as well.
So the difference here is that the increased capacity coming from Tenny Mountain Interceptor is the difference. That would be coming to pump station
Right.
1. Whereas before, it went, of course, to the main plant,
Right, Highland.
up Highland
Highland,
and
yeah.
down. So the change here is X amount of capacity that you need to handle that flow in here. Now, my guess is, since we didn't build out everything that was proposed on Fairgrounds Road, there's probably some capacity to handle some of that load. from
Not
Tenny
much,
But,
not,
right, but the whole, going back to the original concept, the users pay was the original feeling, and that's why we had this special assessment on Fairgrounds Road. We're the ones benefiting, we had to pay for our right to connect to the system and part of the upgrade and so on. So take a look at that agreement, because
Yeah, I'll find
you're
it.
right, maybe some of that was even given back, because who's the developer across from, I can't even think of the name.
Blackie?
Blackie, of course.
Anyway,
Right.
Blackie had two-phase
That
development.
took a long time to come to my brain.
Yeah, but their I don't know what the capacity is, it was significant out of the total capacity here. Never happened, so it should be like reserved here. But did we give it back because the development didn't happen? Are they still holding on to that capacity?
I
I
believe
don't
so.
know. You need to know that to know how much more you could take from Burger King Interceptor.
But we did look at both the undeveloped parcels along Fairgrounds and Tenny Mountain
And
Highway
Tenny,
for the design of this station.
okay.
So they were accounted for.
But the shift is gonna be happening here. If that would've happened, that the mindset of the board of users pay is gonna change, because you're gonna be asking under this warrant article, the district in its entirety to pay for the upgrade,
yeah,
as opposed to the people, the additional loading coming in from Tenny Mountain. So that's, again, if somebody look back in the record and say, well, this is how we funded this particular upgrade, well, we changed our mind when it came to this upgrade, just so you're careful that you don't confuse people in terms of how, or just how you explain how things are paid for. We fought for years, and Tom will know, to get the sewer extended up Fairgrounds Road. And the argument years ago was, why should we, the town, the district, pay for that upgrade when we're not going to benefit from it? So they shot us down on a number of occasions. I think it took Carol
Elliott getting
Elliott
elected, yeah,
years
yeah.
to get this thing finally approved, just to get a design, then get finally built out to the precinct line.
I think part of the issue, Dick, with this is the sewer line's already there and the users are already there. So there isn't, you know, there may be a couple of more users coming out on Tenny Mountain, but we don't know. I mean, these developments, from what I remember, they were already thinking of developing, and we already knew that the pump station was too small. Because if my recollection is still there and sound mind, was that we were either going to tell these people, sorry, you can't develop, or you have to help us with the pump station. So it was, it
It's quid pro quo. I
right, there
understand.
wasn't
Right.
anything that we could, I think, do about it, because we, at that point, pump station 1 was already at capacity for what we were feeding it from Fairgrounds Road, with the fact that we were putting the new sewer line in. So any other development that was gonna come out on Fairgrounds Road had to help pay for the upgrade.
But you've got a complicating factor here with the road, the sewer line coming down Tenny Mountain Highway. In the sense, if you look way back in the agreement with Tenny Mountain, way back in the beginning, they actually purchased a portion of the design capacity of the plant
Right.
as part of the deal.
Right.
And they built the pump station at Burger King and so on. Now, though, of course, the district owns all of that. There's a lot of development potential on Tenny Mountain Highway. You say that it's been designed to handle all that. Well, who knows, the next 10, 20 years, if it were to turn into North Conway, that may or may not be true in terms of, commercial development or God only knows what.
Well, I mean, maybe Jason can speak to how much
Right.
did you allow for?
Yeah, there was a specific, in talking with our engineers at Wright Pierce, there's a specific volume per acre based on commercial and residential development, considering the town zoning laws, and that's what was factored into it. I can get more details from them if you'd like on that.
I just want to make sure we're not shooting ourselves in the foot here.
Yeah,
with this.
we could look back at those, agreements.
If we can find them, sure.
Right, and, down the line, if we know that we're gonna have a development come in, it's like, okay, because of Fairgrounds Road, that you're gonna pay to be able to put into the pump station.
We
But
have a book
we-
of agreements,
Yep,
right? Even your development, Steve, or whatever, I think has got a separate agreement or whatever, relative to what you're responsible for and what the district is responsible for. And it does.
That one I know where it is.
What's that?
That one I know where it is.
Okay. But I mean, what's the other one on?
Blueberry Hill. There's
There's a bunch.
a number of them, we
Right.
have those two.
But this is a little different.
Yeah.
Because it combines a bunch of things.
I've never seen it, so I'll have to dig it out.
Okay.
Kim should know where it
Yeah.
is, she was here.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead,
around
Tom.
there?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. You guys got a little bit, I know you got some history right around there, but that's great. You're proposing a 30% increase, right? That's what the plan is.
For water.
I felt that every one of these projects, Jason's a smart guy, but every one of them's like falling apart and you really need to do them. I can understand that. It's just in the history that I've seen, when this district gets a lot of money, not good things happen. And it's not good for the ratepayer. It wasn't good on a Tenny Mountain when we had commissioners that were working for the district and we had all kinds of things going on.
That was commissioners then, we are different commissioners now.
No, I understand that, and I'm friendly to all of you guys. I just really can't just sit back and watch you guys take in and make a proposal to spend $10 million.
Well,
Is that like scheduled out or what?
Well, I'm sorry you didn't come in about 10 minutes earlier, because
sorry.
we did discuss at length about how we're looking in about a 10-year plan here going forward to borrow a large amount of money so that we can best leverage the benefits of borrowing that large amount of money, which,
Tom?
yeah.
So, I saw that, so
Yeah.
it would come
No, but
in.
let me just be really specific,
Yeah.
Tom, because you did miss it, and it's key, it's a key point.
I know,
The USDA-RD, the federal agency,
yeah,
they advised us last year, don't come to us with this $1 million or $2 million small bundles of a single project, because we won't give you any grant money, and we won't give you low-interest loans because you don't qualify. So they said, work with your engineers and bundle together a number of projects
So you got a 5-year profile, what you're gonna do?
Yeah, and so to
Okay.
capitalize, I mean,
Okay.
the amount of money that we're talking about is 25 up to 45% grant,
Yeah,
free and
that's
clear,
great.
just
Yeah,
our
I'm-
efforts.
I'm sure you get it.
And
But-
also, that's not it. The DA, the RD is gonna help us leverage that money to get some loan principal forgiveness from the state, and also, if possible, tap into the trust fund from the MBTE, the
Yes.
gas leaking trust fund.
Okay.
So we're
That's great.
we're trying to plan and be fiscally responsible and basically,
you
in the
are.
vernacular, get the biggest bang for
I
the
don't think-
district's buck, biggest bang for the district's buck.
But
And
we
I-
are going from 3.2 million, we're putting 8.
Oh, the budget?
we're putting 12 No, you said the total all loans now is 3 million. And
Oh,
we're
oh.
gonna be in for,
Are you looking at the debt service?
yeah.
Yeah. The
So
debt
we're gonna
service
be in for
is,
that plus another 10.
well, the other thing I said earlier was, all of these projects, and you know our infrastructure in the
Yeah,
whole
I
country
know.
is crumbling, we need to keep up with
I
it.
don't, yeah.
And these projects are necessary and inevitable, and if we wait until things leak, I mean, the
Yeah.
evidence supports it always costs more money, and you're in a mad scramble, and it's chaotic if
I
you
know.
do have a leak. The leak's up there on the
Terrible.
rise.
I saw it. How
That
you
was,
gonna replace
that was
the
over
whole
$200,000 because the water line broke, and then,
Yeah.
and it broke the sewer line, and it was a royal mess in
I
the
know.
cloverleaf.
Is there?
And you don't wanna do
Could you
business-
just, you still gotta bring this all forward, this is the first budget hearing, like?
No, this is
you
not,
have a couple
this
budget-
is the bond hearing, right now. This is,
This is the bond
this is
hearing?
the budget hearing, it's the rates hearing, and the bond hearing tonight. And the next step will be annual meeting.
So you'll vote for it, the meeting?
You will,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll vote for it.
yes, yes.
One other thing is that I thought that I've always questioned if anybody is gonna ever break with the design, the engineer and contract way of doing business in a municipal setting. And anybody would take consideration about you growing yourself to do these kind of projects on more of a scheduled basis.
We
But
do
something
what
that
we
you
can.
had in-house rather than, because you're paying markup on everything you touch. The engineers, like, I can't imagine what your engineering is on $10 billion, must be $1.5 million. You could have a guy getting, 110 a year for.
You mean to hire
Yeah,
an in-house
I mean,
engineer?
to expand to the demand, if this is the way, if this is necessary, you're like redeveloping a portion of the town. And anyhow, that was the 2 points I really had to say.
Yeah.
And I'm
We
glad
do
you
spend
got
considerable
that.
money on engineering with Wright Pierce, and we feel like we have a good relationship with them.
I'm
We have
sure
a,
you do.
we have a lot of credibility, they help us, and we can then rely on them, I mean, even if we had one in-house engineer, I don't think he or she could do what they don't have the capacity that a Wright Pierce has with,
No, of course they don't,
Yeah.
but
In this
When
I
you're
just tell
when
them,
you're in-
the $10 million project, if you don't get nervous, so you really are thinking about writing out checks for $10 million? I don't even know how you would gear
no,
up.
Tom, it's
No,
not
Bob,
10,
grabbing it, right?
it's more than 10.
Yeah, it's like 12, I saw it on the.
Well, we're
No,
looking for
17.
commitments for that
Authority.
money,
Well, no, I thought
authority
you
for
meant
that.
to-
We're just looking
So
for,
they could drool over to 19, you mean, like?
no, we're looking for annual meeting to authorize the board to bond these amounts over time.
Yeah,
And with that, we will get this 25 to 45%
Yeah.
grant money, which is
Yeah.
huge dollars. I
it
mean,
is, yeah.
that's why we've cobbled them and bundled them all together.
Yeah.
But we aren't spending the money in
Oh, you're not
2019.
spending the money. Oh,
This
this, I
is-
thought. I
This
thought
We're
is,
you
looking
no,
at
no, no,
spending-
this is 5 to
5 to 10 years.
10 years
We-
of
We
project.
couldn't, we
Because-
couldn't do that number of projects. This is to get authority so that we can
This is so
get
we get money
the
back.
grant money.
So we get,
Oh, great.
with
It
the,
is-
with the authority to borrow money now, this larger amount of money now for the, 5 to 10 year future.
So the outlay you got in 218, you've got 7.6 million going out for outlay. Is that what that,
Are you, what are you looking at, Tom?
the CIP, capital improvement plan?
Yes, yes, so that would be accurate. That would be
So it's
in
still-
keeping with what's on the budget.
That's big, I mean, the treatment
It is
plant was
big.
like 8 million. And the treatment plant was, there was a mess.
Yeah.
It wasn't a pretty scene. I mean, I think you were right around. Anyhow.
Wasn't my
Yeah,
wheelhouse.
no, I know. that.
Yeah.
But that it wasn't
Yeah,
a
no.
big thing. The ratepayer did not come out well. And the design kind of got pushed. And then again, well, the fairgrounds, we had a hard time. The fairgrounds wasn't an easy project, as you know.
Yes, I do know that.
They're so unpredictable. I just wish there was a way that, to put a big machine down in a tent and do 100 feet a year, And
Yeah, that's the
I know
unfortunate
life
problem
is-
with replacing infrastructure that's underground.
Yeah.
It's not,
Not easy.
yeah, nor is it cheap.
Hey, thanks a lot.
If I may,
appreciate
Mr.
your-
Chairman, and just before you leave, Tom, I just want to add something, if you wouldn't
Yeah.
mind. This past year, we actually did do multiple projects in-house, a couple $100,000. We actually
Really?
general contracted the restoration of the treatment building here at Foster Street without an engineer. And these were items listed in our water master plan. And as of the end of 2017, we completed the entire list of short-term projects in our master plan. So.
For the well.
Hey,
So we-
you can say I'm graying and I'm reminiscent for the days when, I don't want to make the old 5 people out of, what do you call it, stand around with shovels analogy. But, I kind of miss that you had a town had more services than everything being outsourced. There's just such a predictable margin that you lose to your outsourcing.
So Tom, on that project Jason just mentioned, we had authorized to borrow $385,000 to make the improvements on the well house. And because Jason sort of was the general contractor and got the work done either by our staff or by hiring a contractor to do it, I think we only borrowed $230,000 of the $385,000. So we're mindful.
Really?
I mean, I don't live in the
Oh my
district, but
God,
I'm a
goodness
taxpayer.
gracious.
I understand. I'm
I
trying
know,
to
it's not
capitalize.
easy. The government's watching. Okay, thanks again, folks.
Thanks for coming, Tom.
Yeah.
Hi.
But you didn't tell them the difference within the policies.
I think we're light years. I think we're light years from hiring our own engineer here.
I know.
For $110,000.
Well, I mean, there are pluses and minuses to both ways of looking at that.
Well-
And I don't think that there's a simple answer.
When your in-house engineer makes a mistake, what do you do?
Right. Right.
You fire it.
Great, and they know where you are.
And your in-house engineer does not have the
Band-
broad
Capacity, the
Right.
bandwidth.
and the
Right.
broad
Back at home.
expertise. I mean,
I mean, it's an interesting idea.
it is.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. It's just that,
It's progressive that we're not there yet.
right,
The other thing that Wright Pierce does for us, because they've become expert at it, is all these applications to RD,
yeah.
which I can't even tell you the work that goes into it. Mike Terrio and Chris, but mostly Mike Terrio, they get that done for us.
And that's division of labor that they have.
Right,
They have,
that they
they
have
have a
that we
staff.
don't.
They have
a
people.
A staff.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, so, I mean, that's, when we pay people to get work done, and we have to get this stuff done on a schedule,
Yeah.
and that's
And they
part of the
also
way-
save us money in terms of, well, Foster Street is an example, and we had a in-town contractor do that work, and it all was very congenial, and it all worked out nicely. But when there's a dispute with the contractor, they're the ones there saying, well, no, that pipe was delivered on this day, and it didn't cost you 2 extra days to build
Right.
into the schedule, and if you didn't finish on time, here's the penalty, and let's work that off. They go to bat for us. We do
Right.
pay them handsomely to do that, but they are right on top of the job,
Right.
the schedule, the finances, the grant money.
Of course, the trade-off
The
with
grant money is
working
the
with the
huge
Wright
part.
Pierces day after day, year after year, is that sometimes they get a little comfortable.
We know, yeah.
And then you,
We
I think
keep-
even DES says you have to go out and do an RFQ or something every
Yep.
so often to,
We keep Wright Pierce on their toes.
okay,
We let them know.
yeah.
And, they mostly, they have the board's confidence, and we just have a very good, I understand, the
Yeah.
relationship of having an auditor or a lawyer or an engineer for too long, and people can get complacent, but I don't see that in them. Mike Terrio is very good, and he really likes us as a customer. He hopes that we will stay with them.
Oh,
and,
sure, yeah,
You know,
I'm sure. My guys are doing a good job. I don't take up any more. of your
we're
time.
trying. We're trying. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Keep up the good work.
I like when you guys talk.
Thanks, Dick.
We
Try it
appreciate,
once in a while.
we appreciate your input, thank you.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, I hate to make all the noise in the crowd back here, but
No,
Well, when you're
good.
the only one in the crowd, or the only one of two in the crowd, you know.
former commissioners both.
Right.
We'll see you in March. We'll see you in March.
Can I ask more questions, Mark?
We'll say, Dick, as we told you at the hearing.
Lots of questions in here. I just haven't had a chance to look at them. So,
Yeah.
trust them, I do.
Yeah,
Great, thanks.
sure.
guys.
Happy to answer.
Good evening. Gonna go out and shovel snow.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So I guess, Mr. Chairman, in terms of the order of things, you should close the hearings and then act on each one of the different
Okay,
items.
all right, well, do we want to close them all at the same time, or
Yeah.
is it,
Yeah.
is this by motion, or is this by just a matter of?
No, Chairman can close the hearing.
All right, well, at 10 minutes before 7,
Yep.
I close the public hearing, the rate hearing, and the...
budget hearing,
And
the
the
rate
budget
hearing.
hearing, yes. all
And the
three.
bond, yep.
And the bond hearing, yes. So, we can,
So you should act on each one.
Okay, so I will make a motion that we accept the budget as amended and spoken about.
As presented, yeah,
As
as
presented.
presented tonight.
So moved.
all those in favor?
I make a motion, we accept the new water and sewer rates as proposed. For water, minimum 43, the over 5,000 gallons, $8.60 per 1,000 gallons for an increase of about approximately 30%. And sewer, the minimum charge $62, over 5,000 gallon, $11.77 per 1,000 gallons, an 11-cent increase for approximately 0.94%, so less than 1%.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then lastly,
I'll make a motion that we accept the bond issues as presented. Purpose 1, water and sewer line replacement. Purpose 2, new water source in Holderness. Purpose 3, generator. Purpose 4, the septic receiving improvements, phase 1A and 3. And purpose 5, pump station 1 improvements.
So moved.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you. So now we move on to annual district meeting.
And we make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay. Oh, next meeting dates.
Oh, we didn't talk about those yet?
No, and, now that we can put this stuff to bed, we can get, the annual report ready, get ready for town meeting. I think we've had 2 meetings in January already,
Yeah.
Yes, the second and the
Maybe
you know,
16th.
and we could probably go a month to February, whatever it is, 13th.
13th.
As long as you can come in for signatures a couple of times when we ask you to. What is it?
Yeah.
Is it the 12th?
It's
13th?
13th.
Is a
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Do you want to do that?
It's
Or is that,
Those Tuesdays are 6, 13, 20, or 27.
So we need the 13th and the 27th.
mm-hmm. Sounds good. And then if something comes up, we can post a meeting. In
And
between.
then our district meeting date is the 15th
The 15th of March, yep.
And it will be here
It will be here.
at,
It's at 6 o'clock on
6
that night,
p.m.
yep.
March, what again?
March 15th, it's the Thursday.
it is before spring break at Plymouth.
Yeah.
And then what did we say for February, the 13th and the?
13th and the 27th?
All right.
And if, if we need you, we'll ask to, if we
Yes.
can have a meeting.
Could Kim send an email and just remind me these dates?
Yeah, sure.
The Ides of March.
Yeah, February, March 15th. Yeah, you can do that. I was gonna say, you can do that, Mr. Chairman, and leave it here for me.
Mhm.
Captive audience. so are we adjourned?
We are adjourned, I would say, at about 6 minutes before the hour.